Right friends, welcome back to capsule number 3, that is Kashmir on Boil. That means the incidents taking place in Kashmir. We are going to have detailed view on what is going on in Kashmir. Last year when we were discussing our lectures, we discussed in detail about the real Kashmir problem, and now we are concentrating on what exactly went wrong in recent times. And if you look at what the governments are doing since our independence, broadly it was perceived that the terrorists are coming from across the border and deploying police forces, armed forces and paramilitary forces, then eliminating root and branch of terrorists or terrorism, then governments concentrating on development, but in reality it has not taken place much, and governments are also thinking about reducing corruption, will eliminate terrorism from the valley, and good governance. So these are the tactics employed by the governments since independence. And what went wrong during the past 8 to 10 years? During the past 8 to 10 years, what went wrong is alienation of the local people. Somehow local people got alienated from the Indian psyche. Then second thing is some instances of mistreatment of women. All of you are well aware, Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958 was introduced, which gives overriding powers to the armed forces, and as AFSA 1958 was introduced in Kashmir, there is some instances of mistreatment of women, at the same time disappearance of local youth, intimidation and wanton killings in some cases took place, and strict observance of hartals, shutdowns as per the wishes or a decree of the separatist leaders by the people is taking place in recent times. And at the same time there is not much economic or social development, and sense of victimhood is prevalent across Kashmir valley due to the violation of human rights in some cases, and this gradually translated into political issue, and separatist tendencies are taking roots in recent times. So the problem translated from the insurgency perpetrated by the people from across the border into homegrown insurgency in recent times. If you look at recent developments, the people in Jammu and Kashmir perceive BJP, PDP as unholy alliance, and no one knows what happened to agenda of alliance. When both the parties came together to form government, agenda of alliance was framed, but no one knows what happened to that. No discussion took place subsequently. And at the same time, social media and IS ideology of radicalization of Islam is gaining ground across the world. And in Kashmir, homegrown insurgency is increasing day by day, and it is also affected by the radicalization of Islam in general across the world. And local people became apprehensive when government stated that it is going to establish separate colonies for retired Sainiks and Kashmiri Pandits. And at the same time, Pakistan is also beset with its own problems. It is suffering because of its own terrorism related problems, and infiltration from across the border is also reducing in recent times. And anti-India feelings started rising since 2010. All of you are familiar with around 120 people lost their lives in the hands of Jammu and Kashmir police and central forces in the year 2010. It was felt that excessive police force was used to kill people in 2010. Subsequently, anti-India feelings started in Kashmir valley, and there were news reports that educated youth and civil society are giving legitimacy to the armed militancy. In recent times, the unfortunate aspect is educated youth and civil society started giving legitimacy to the armed militancy. And at the same time, most important aspect is police excesses with Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958 as the shelter is gradually alienating Kashmiri people. These are the recent developments, and ultimately in recent times we are facing more problems because of homegrown insurgency than from across the border. Then if you look at what is the present scenario as far as the terrorists are concerned, the nature of militancy has changed drastically in recent years. And the most noticeable event is the funeral processions of these militants are being attended by thousands of people. And if you look at the profile of militants in recent times, they are mostly local youth. Some of them are well educated and from elite families and appears to be obsessed with the homegrown militant ideology than from across the border. And how they are getting the arms is clearly not known, and militancy assumed clear religious overtones. And radicalization of Islam is also evident in some instances, and militancy unfortunately is gaining local support in recent times. And if you go back to history, militancy started gaining ground from 1989, and by 2000 it subsided, and subsequently the then Prime Ministers Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Manmohan Singh tried to have dialogue, and by the year 2007-2008 militancy reduced drastically, and subsequently since 2010 militancy is again on the uptrend, right? So what needs to be done at this juncture? Engage dialogue with all the stakeholders and how their aspirations can be met within the framework of the country. Then more synergy is required between the center and PDP government, and all the opposition parties are to be involved. And keep the channels open for discussions with Pakistan, which is also beset with homegrown terrorism. Now Pakistan is also suffering badly because of terrorism, so keep the channels open for discussions with the Pakistan, and repeal or at least amend Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958, because there is a feeling across the valley that because of Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958 human rights are being violated badly. And institute broad-based enquiry into the so-called extrajudicial killings at least since 2010, and start steps immediately not to alienate local people further. And finally, if you look at the problems across the world which got solved during the past 25 years, Northern Ireland problem was solved. This is now part of United Kingdom. Basque region, where separatist movements took place in Basque region of Spain, now the problem was also solved. And similarly Quebec region of Canada, that problem was also solved. These are the problems and real examples in front of us, and why not the problem of Kashmir? But I fully agree the real problem is Pakistan, but even then if efforts are made, the Kashmir problem can be solved just like the problems of Northern Ireland, Basque region and Quebec, right? So with this, let us hope good days to come to Kashmir region, and please do join for other modules. Have a nice day. Thank you.